tutorial on tree pose, another pose commonly found in vinyasa flow classes. Like some of the other poses we've discussed in these other foundational tutorials, for example, Warrior 2, Half Moon, this pose also involves external rotation of one hip. So, again, it's two-sided because one foot is lifted and one foot is grounded. So, whichever foot you want to start with first, one foot is going to be grounded into your mat. The other foot is going to lift off the ground. The foot that's lifting can be placed inside the ankle or the shin. Right? If you don't have any issues with knee flexion, you can place it in the inner thigh. I would avoid pressing directly on the knee joint, but above or below is fine. Square your hips to the front. That's one of the things I so often find in this shape is, most often, it kind of messes with the balance before you even get into it. The hips turn off to the right because people have an idea that the knee needs to be directly off to the side. Most people's range of motion is not going to allow for that. 99.9% of the population. If you're in that 0.01, awesome. If you're not, that's great too. Right? So you want to have the knee out roughly a 45-degree angle, maybe less, maybe more. But that hip of your lifted leg, your hip point should be pointing forward. And then you want to feel a lengthening of the inner thigh to drop the knee towards the mat. Your hands can come to your heart center. You can grow branches of your tree. And then to come out, easy enough. So one thing I will say, because this is not just a pose that involves external rotation in the hip, it's also a standing balance pose. If you do find yourself losing your balance, notice to what side, what direction you're falling out of the pose, because that's going to give you the valuable information in order to make a correction and gain control of your balance, right? So we'll talk about that a little bit more on this side. Again, place the foot above or below the knee, doesn't matter, right? If balance work is new for you and you're worried, you think you're gonna come out of it, I would take the foot inside the ankle, right? Easier to come out of it and get a kickstand if you need to. So a word on balance. If you find yourself falling to the side of the lifted foot, think about pressing into the outer edge of your standing foot a little bit more and solidify the connection between your foot and your inner thigh, right? Press the foot into the thigh, press the thigh back into the foot. And then drop your tailbone, tighten up your core, stand up tall. See if that doesn't happen. If the opposite is happening, right? You've got that pressure on the inner thigh and you're going this way. Press into the big toe of your standing foot. That means you need a little bit more correction to center, right? Outer hip, press into the big toe, solidify the connection, tighten up your core, soften your shoulders. One more word about balance. It really does help to find a fixed point directly in front of you. When you find that fixed point, try to keep it at eye level or slightly above. If you look down, I promise you your odds of going that direction are greater. So eye level or slightly above, and just try to count as many. Count to 10, count to 20, count to 30, and then revisit it day in, day out. Take a couple days off, come back to it. I think you'll find if you make those corrections and notice what your tendencies are, you'll come back into it with a much greater sense of balance, having made all those observations. Hopefully you found this helpful. Thanks so much for joining us at Little Lessons Play.